It's Friday night, or if you're on the East Coast, it's already Saturday morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Mandatory Live. Remember, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, follow us on our social media channels. We're at the Mandatory TKO. You can also find us on the audio side as well. Keep that in mind. Give us a 5-star, leave a rate and review because that all helps the channel grow. And if you've already done that, thank you so much. I'm stumbling a little bit, Brian. You know why? Because we were told it was going to be the biggest night in boxing. The card was supposed to be stacked from top to bottom. And what we got tonight, one word, you guys, straight basura. That's what we got tonight. And I think boxing fans were disappointed all around. I want to start off with the first thing, Brian. When this was brought to us,
Yes.
the public
Yes.
on X, when it was announced, we were told that this was going to be a public event
I was
in
there.
Times Square.
I was there. We have receipts. Yes.
And according to what we saw on social media, it turns out the public wasn't allowed to watch this public event. It was all draped off. Everything you saw on camera was just like people in Times Square, but they weren't actually in the event. Your thoughts? We're already getting some comments. Keep the comments coming because we're going to get into all of that. But first, let's start off with the event itself.
As a matter of fact, we could start off with Ring Magazine editor-in-chief Douglas Fisher, who, in case you doubt that there was any noise about this actually being free to the public, this is what he said at the presser that I was at a couple months ago when this got announced.
It's going to be free to the public. Anybody walking by there, anybody there on May 2nd,
it's going to be free to the public. Anybody walking by on May 2nd, today is May 2nd, well, still on the West Coast, but still. And also the reason we're doing this a little bit later is because I worked from 4 to 12. And I didn't try to get out of work to cover this because I knew it was going to be a shit show. And it was actually a lot worse than I expected. So one more time.
It's going to be free to the public. Anybody walking by there, anybody there on May 2nd.
Okay, so there's some more bookmark tweets that I have because as you would imagine, we got to be on top of this. We have the NYPD not letting people in. Here's an officer.
Guys, you have to leave. It's not up for debate. You have to leave. The whole area is being shut down. Yes, everybody. All around? Yes. On the next side of the street? There's a fence over.
Are they closing the business?
Okay.
If you want to, I feel like this violates my First Amendment. I really do.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Did you hear the guy? I'm sorry. I feel like this violates my First Amendment. And this dude was like, "I'm sorry you feel that way."
But I mean, think about it. If you're a fan and say you like legit went to New York just for this event. That's what I'm saying.
People traveled to this event from other places just to see that it was blocked off. And here's the other thing. This dystopian nonsense. This was blocked off only for like, quote unquote, the elites, if you will. Like the only people that were actually in attendance were people who were invited. It was VIP shit. So it was other boxers. It was just celebrities. You saw like I Show Speed, who's a very famous streamer. You saw obviously former boxers like Mike Tyson, who was giving just, off rhythm analysis, we'll call it. I don't feel like he was needed on the broadcast, but he's Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? So ultimately, like that's what it was. And then you see like, Shakur is there, and Terrence Crawford's there, and Keyshawn Davis, like all the dudes that Turkey wants to work with. And the whole thing is like, they put this event together to say that they put this event together. They just want to be able to say, hey, we did this in Times Square. That's all this is about. This is a stat for them. This event sucked. This was terrible. This was the worst flop of the year in the sport. All the fights were bad. On top of that, there were 2 winners on the card tonight who raised their stock and everyone else dropped. What is this bullshit?
They're saying you don't need to celebrate tonight.
There were two winners from this card, 2 people who raised their stock. Rolly Romero, we'll get to him, shocking upset. And Lavelle Whittington, who entered 1-2-1 and was fighting, I forget the Japanese dude's name, making his debut, or whatever the case may be, who he didn't get the stoppage that people thought he would. And Lavelle Whittington, with some training and some real camps and some funding behind him, if somebody could get behind him, he could actually be pretty good and knock off a couple prospects, I think. But this was dog shit. As a matter of fact, let's continue, Shantelle. Let's continue because I have tweets. Look at this from CompuBox. Fewest punches, combined punches
Wait,
thrown.
let's hold off on that. Let's continue to talk about the
I mean,
event because you got yours off.
the reveal's already here. Just last thing, and then I'm gonna toss it back to you. Fewest combined punches
Jesus.
thrown in a 12-round fight. I just want to let you know, 3 of the lowest 5 here in terms of punches thrown in a fight in a 12-round fight. 3 of them, or 2 of them rather, were tonight. You have Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero combined to throw 490 punches in a 12-round fight. That's abysmal. And then over here, you have Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia from last year is also on here, which is pretty funny. All right, this sucked. What did you think?
Well, thank you for asking. After 5 minutes, and
Listen,
you've been doing your solo show for too long, where you forgot how to be a co-host. Okay, so you need to check yourself because this is a 2-person show, and I don't appreciate that. Okay? So when I tell you to stop, you gotta stop. Okay. I don't know why you thought you could do that. Okay,
this is gonna be an all-timer tonight.
I'm gonna warn you right now. Okay, listen, we're
it.
both hot. The thing that I'm gonna say is I think visually it looked really good.
Sure.
Right? Visually it looked good, except for when you would see that it was small. Like there were not many seats. It was a VIP event. And I feel like if you're a boxing fan that traveled for the event, you're absolutely disappointed. And so not only did everyone lie about this event, but people are upset with how the card went, right? Because we're told, listen, this is the biggest boxing weekend. These are the biggest fights. And you know what? There was a lot of hype leading up to it. But what we saw, not very entertaining. And I don't know why that is. Because these fights, when you actually look at it on paper, it should be pretty entertaining. Now, you know, Haney and Jose Ramirez, I was backing Jose Ramirez, and I think everybody kind of knew that. But here's the thing. I want to go take a shower during that fight. I saw like 4 rounds, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go take a shower. Also, why did this start so early? They didn't think about anybody on the West Coast. This is what legit happened. This is legit my experience. I'm at the gym. Bryan is talking shit to me on WhatsApp about this event. And I'm like, oh, no way. So where are we at? And he's like, Arnold Barboza is in the ring. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you talking about? It's like 3:15 here on the West Coast.
Eastern.
Right? And I freak out.
On a Friday in New York. This isn't in England. This isn't in Saudi. None of those things.
Also, if it's Friday on the West Coast, wherever you are at 3:15, you might still be at your day job.
Right.
If you have a 9 to 5. So I'm like, oh my God, like this is the fight that I actually want to see on the card. So I pull it up at the gym and I'm trying to watch it on my phone. But I'm just like, why? Like, could we not have started this later a little bit? Like, I want to know why. Maybe it was sanctioned by the city where it had to start at a particular time because it was a live event. But I mean, you guys have like New Year's Eve there, you know.
I don't think it's
there.
That.
So
I think they thought people were going to leave their jobs and be around there because, you know, people get off of work at 5, which is not always the case because, you know, a lot of people are remote on Fridays or a lot of people get out early on Fridays. Not always the case.
Yeah. And why would you leave your job early to be, you know, behind a blocked cage? I don't know. I don't think I'd leave my job for that. So all in all, I thought it was disappointing. And when it came to the fights, let's get to that now, Bryan. Let's start off with Arnold Barboza Jr.
Hold on.
You have more?
Hold on. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course. Like this fucking vanity project. Okay. Like they're already doing the thing. And they're going to do the thing. They're going to try to, I'm letting you know right now, boxing fans, they're going to try to social media market their way out of this. They're going to post all the visuals and the clips and fans waiting outside. Fans who I question what some of them were there for. I think some of them were just like, oh shit, we're going to be on camera every, you know, couple hours. Cool. I'll be out here. I don't think everyone was there for a boxing event. I think a whole bunch of people just saw a camera and was like, you know, thirsty to get on camera. That's what I think. When it comes to like this event, just in totality, like this shit was an abomination. And if you look at just the photos from beforehand, you started putting 2 and 2 together. And it's like, okay, the ring is small. There's this big red whatever barrier, we'll call it. And everyone is like, oh, they're gonna take that down, right? This is what people were saying on Twitter. And then they're like, no, this is not coming down. This is gonna
Well,
be
was
there
there
the whole time.
TVs or
So
screens where people could see the fight? Like, I was curious about that because everything was blocked off.
supposedly, but I later read, we got to get this confirmed. I later read that wasn't the case because, I mean, DAZN probably don't want to give that shit out for free. And at the same time, it's like, yo, one more thing, and we'll get to the super chat. They say everything they do is for the fans. And I'm here to tell you that as this TKO shit, this next venture starts getting going or whatever, it's going to be more and more bullshit that fans are going to have to deal with. So this is soft launching all of that now. This is going to get worse, is what I'm saying. Not
right,
every event is going to be an abomination like this, maybe. Maybe they'll get it together, whatever the case may be. But when they're fully fledged, like, it's just going to get worse and fighters won't make as much also on the top end. But that's another story for another day because we don't give a shit about how much fighters make on this episode.
By the way, guys, if you donate to the show, we put your chat on right away, your comment right away. But Bryan, once again, he's forgotten the rules of the show. Doing too many solo shows. There is. Al the Pal says, I do what I can for my boo Shantelle. Thank you, Al the Pal. I got a little extra money that I didn't waste because I wasn't going to buy the pay-per-view, but it was too early. They lost money too early on pay-per-view, even on the bundle pack. Not worth it tomorrow. Yeah, like, honestly, I think this whole event was extremely disappointing. And I think anyone that traveled for, by the way, Al the Pal, thank you for the donation. Always appreciate it. I think anyone that traveled for the event should be disappointed. Anyone that was outside that event that couldn't get in should be disappointed. It was promoted with lies. Like, imagine going, I hate this. Okay, imagine there's a concert, right, in New York. And they're like, J. Cole's going to be there. Kendrick's going to be there.
Firefest. Like,
yeah,
like
right?
Our version we just have boxing's version of Firefest.
That's what we just had right now, and it's terrible. And you can spew it and try to promote it, saying that it was hella dope. It looked dope, but it just wasn't what it was marketed to be, and it sucks for the fans. Bryan, I want to get to some comments before we move on to the fights because we got a bunch of comments that we got to get to.
Yeah.
Let's start off with our very good friend of the show, Jesus. Shantelle, people can't suffer being cheated on this garbage. We all know this is just utter buffoonery. Cash grab event, patty cake punches. Jesus also said, can't bear to see tomorrow's garbage acting tomorrow, right? Like,
we're back tomorrow. We're back tomorrow, aren't we?
We're going to have a post-fight show. Also, he's fighting in Saudi, so it's going to be a little bit earlier, guys. Just remember that.
That'll be right after the fight. This was a one-time thing where, Friday is tough to do it.